Shalom. First and foremost, call Lord Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Also, peace, blessings, and salutations unto the hopeful elect. So, back again with another lesson in the spirit of prophecy, going into this coming US dollar collapse, in which all of these world economic forum people are speaking about, projecting, have been projecting. Jamie Dimon came out last year and said, brace yourself for an economic hurricane. Okay, meaning that there's a great storm coming that's going to affect this economy. And what we can see right now, as of last week, the U.S. Went over their debt limit. So now they're trying to figure out a way to um, alleviate that, which really there is no way. The only way to alleviate that debt is to collapse the system. That's the only way. And we know that that's been the plan since the jump, because they, according to prophecy, they must bring about this new beast system, which is all going to be on the grid. Okay, that's why you have Bill Gates and the WEF talking about blackouts, man. Okay, they're literally telling you that the electric grid has to be quote unquote reset by 2030, which they don't have until 2030, but that's just the number that they're putting out there because they don't really want people to panic and be like, oh, well, we need it to happen in the next 2 years. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's too soon for most people because they're not ready for that. But if they say, oh, yeah, well, we can project this to happen until 2030, then it's like, okay, well, that's a couple years away. I can kind of get used to that. You know what I'm saying? But really, the reality is that these things will happen, Salakia, much sooner than what you think. So Saudi Arabia, the BRICS nations, are all moving away from this Western hegemonic dollar system. Okay, and then part of that is because America has pretty much become the enemy of many foreign nations and pretty much screwed everybody over, man. They fought many wars, many unjust wars against even their allies to keep the dollar in power. And when you consider people like Muammar Gaddafi, um, Osama bin Laden, Saddam Hussein, these were men that were trying to move away from the Western dollar, from the U.S. dollar system. And we know that these countries really control uh, the regions where the U.S. imports most of its oil from. You see, so if they were to even side with Russia and start using rupees or come up with some new currency, then that would be a danger to the U.S. dollar. So that's why these men had to be taken out. Because when you look at Gaddafi, he was about to move Libya and other African nations onto a gold standard of a dollar, which because the U.S. currency, you already know, it's not worth nothing. It's only worth something in the eyes of the beholder. Okay, the U.S. dollar long ago came off of the gold standard, I believe, in the 1970s, and since then, it really has had no value. The only value that it really has is backed by the military and the illusion that it's worth something. You know, but other than that, the dollar is a finite currency, meaning that it's not meant to last forever. Eventually, it's meant to collapse and will be replaced by a new currency. So, um, this is a video here, just a quick synopsis of what's actually going on with these Saudi Arabia, these Eastern nations trying to pull away from this dollar. So, I want to play this real quick, and then there's an article to go along with it that I'll get a little bit out of it, so you can see that this dollar collapse is imminent, man. And this thing is not years away. I would say that this thing is months away, possibly even weeks. We just gotta watch and see how fast this thing is gonna happen. But how many times have you heard through the media and through us that there's a recession coming? Really, we're in a recession right now, but it's gonna get much worse. So This recession that's coming is really going to be a depression. It's not going to be a recession. Okay, what what happened during 2008? That was a major recession, but what's coming, man, it's going to be a depression because, at least in 2008 there was food. At least in 2008, people, times was hard, but people could still, stuff was there. The time we're coming into, it's really not going to matter if you have money or not. Resources are going to be very scarce. So let's check this out.
And as if things were not already bad enough in terms of inflation and the dollar just completely getting pounded out in terms of its buying power, well, it looks like it's about to get worse. And this is a big time red alert. This goes for everyone around the planet that's using US dollars. Because for all of our lives up to this point, the world reserve currency has been the United States dollar, and it's been so primarily because of a couple things. But number one, it's Petro status, that it's tied in to being backed by Saudi Arabia's oil. The other argument is that the dollar is backed by the full force of the U.S. military, which is backed by the U.S. Treasury, which is backed by the Federal Reserve. In other words, the dollar is backed by the dollar. It's a very naive position to have, especially when it's not backed by gold. And some would think, well, isn't the US dollar their golden goose? They're able to just keep making all this wealth and just keep doing it and never have to answer to nobody. Well, no, it's not. If you're short-sighted and you don't know the end game, maybe that's where you get caught up. But when you know where they're taking this and you know the end game, you know that this is a stepping stone toward the CBDC in a one-world currency or
Absolutely, and that's the end goal. The end goal is to move everything towards the CDBC, which is going to be the monetary currency to operate within the new beast system in which these elites are going to set up, which also entails the MOTB. Okay, Revelation 13 and 16, that none might buy or sell. He's going to cause all. Okay, rich and poor, free and bond, etc. You can go read that verse. All of this ties into that. Okay, you have to see where this is going through the spirit. It's very plain to see for those that are watching and those that have the spirit, man, where this devil is going. Okay, everything is being set up for the hour of temptation, which is going to be the MOTB. All right, it's going to be made very clear who you serve in that time. Either you serve the beast or you serve Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. And if you serve the Lord, if you truly believe in the Lord, then you're going to suffer however long you have to suffer and not be a part of this devil system, because ultimately, once this MOTB is rolled out, that's really his end. Okay, once you see that this devil move to push out the MOTB, just know that he doesn't have that much time left. We already know that. So when push come to shove, when the shit hit the fan, real brothers and sisters that really believe in this truth, man, hey, we're gonna have to stand on what we stand on, because it'll be for us a signifying marker that yes, indeed, this devil is on his way out. Okay, and very, very much soon. So yeah, man, this is the end of the petro US dollar dominance. Okay, and of course the West, their reaction to this is going to be, okay, well, they want to come off the dollar. They already know that. Listen, man, the elites, they already know that the dollar is not worth anything. It's all just an illusion. They already know that. So they've already had these plans to move to something else, right? And who knows? These Saudi Arabian nations, they all could be in on it. You know what I'm saying? They could be like, yeah, well, we're gonna move away from the dollars because we all know that all these nations are confederate with Esau. Okay, in this B system, man. So this could all be an agenda from all these nations, but at the end of the day, it's really from Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. Okay, because we know that the Heavenly Father wants these things to happen to bring about prophecy. Right, so let's go here to the Zero Hedge article. A dollar collapse is now in motion. Saudi Arabia signals the end of Petro's status. And it says the decline of a currency of a currency's world reserve status is often a long process rife with denials. There are numerous economic quote unquote experts out there that have been dismissing any and all warnings of dollar collapse for years. They just don't get it, or they don't want to get it. The idea that the US currency could ever be dethroned as the de facto global trade mechanism is impossible in their minds. And for many people it is, because the dollar being on top is all that they've ever known for pretty much their whole lives, man. So to think that any other system of payment can replace that, it's just hard for many people to believe. But nonetheless, that's what's going to happen. One of the key pillars keeping the dollar in place as the world reserve is its petro status, and the factor is often held up as the reason why the greenback cannot fail. The other argument is that the dollar is backed by the full force of the U.S. military, and the U.S. military is backed by the U.S. Treasury and the Federal Reserve. In other words, the dollar is backed by the dollar. It's a very circular and naive position. And that's just a dumb way of thinking. The dollar is backed by the dollar. In reality, the dollar is backed by nothing. When you spend a dollar, you're literally just giving somebody a piece of paper. That piece of paper has no worth. Prior to the 1970s, before the dollar was taken off of the gold standard, you could say that, okay, this dollar is worth something. Okay, that's why back then stuff was a lot cheaper. Okay, stuff was a lot more affordable. But you've seen inflation go crazy since then, since it's been taken off of the gold standard, because now you have to print more of the money for it to be worth something, right? So let's say in the 1960s you could buy a car for, a brand new car for $5,000. Now today, you buying a brand new car, depending on what model, 20,000 minimum. You know what I'm saying? 20,000 minimum for a brand new car now, man. And that's a base level. Like that's not even something nice. Like that's like you buying a base level GM, like a Chevy or something. You know what I'm saying? But it's like stuff is more expensive now because you're buying it with useless money. If the dollar was actually worth something, then it would hold more of its value. So says let's see here. It says globalist white papers and essays specifically outline the need for a diminished role for the U.S. currency as well as a decline in the American economy in order to make way for central bank digital currencies and a new global currency system. Notice it said global currency system controlled by the IMF. So what does it say in Revelation 13 and 16? It says he will cause all. Okay, and then brothers have been doing shows. I just did a show the other day going into that this is a global thing. Okay, why do you think the meeting that they had at Davos, who was there? The World Economic Forum. Okay, and you had representatives from all these nations, all these other nations, man, coming together to conspire at this meeting. All right, so this is a global thing. It's not just going to be in America. It's not just going to be in Europe. This is going to be global. Okay, this beast system, man, is going to be global. This is the last push to institute Satan's kingdom upon the earth. Okay, so this is what John was seeing in that vision. When the Lord gave him that vision, man, he was seeing a world system in which everyone was on a central bank digital currency, was on a digital dollar, if you will. And this thing was global. Okay, everyone was required to get down with this, man. Okay, everyone was required to bow down to the image of the beast, to worship the beast by taking his mark. And this is what the mark entails. Okay, I warned about this years ago, and my position has always been that the derailment of the dollar would likely start with the end of its petro status. So in other words, you know that the dollar is done once it's not backed by gas anymore. Once it's not backed by petrol. Okay, once the dollar is separated from petroleum, that's how you know that it's the end, man. Okay. And why do you think that they've been pushing for this for these EVs recently, man, for these electric vehicles? Because they know that it's coming. This is systematic, man. They know that there's a collapse coming. That's why they're pushing for these electric vehicles, and that serves a dual purpose. Number one, so they can kind of, they can still control you. They can monitor you at all times, track you at all times. And then to really save the fallout from this, economic collapse, even though they already have the solution, but still they want to mitigate that to some degree. So, um, it says in 2017, I noted that I believe the next phase of the global economic reset will begin in part with the breaking of a petrodollar dominance. Salakia, an important element of my analysis on the strategic shift away from the petrodollar has been the symbiosis between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia has been the single most important key to the dollar remaining as the petrol currency from the very beginning. World economic war is the real name of the game here. As the globalists play puppeteers to East and West, it is a geopolitical crisis they will have created to engineer public support for a solution they have predetermined. And what's that? Order out of chaos. They create the problem, then they bring the solution. They they start the world wars. They take the dollar off of, or they remove the dollar from the petro. They cause the famine. Then they bring their solution, their order, their new world order. Okay, which ultimately is going to be the RFID CHIP, man. All right, it's gonna be the micro CHIP. Okay, and you're gonna be required to get it either in your forehead, your brain, or your right hand. All right, the Neuralink brain chip and they have different brands out of the microchip that people have already. Wallet More is one. What's another one? I believe Elon is working on one that goes in, in your hand as well. But I can't remember them off the top of my head right now. But there are multiple, chips out that they have that people already have, man. So yeah, we are at the end, man. And we continue to sound the alarm. But hey, when these things come to pass, then you're gonna know that a prophet has been among you. Okay, then you're gonna know that the Lord spoke of these things through us. Starting with our elders and apostles, man, for years upon years. All right. So let's go here. Matter of fact, now what happened to that? We go to second Ezra's 9, I believe. Yep, second Ezra's 9. Um, Start at 3. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Even so the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonder and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs. Okay, so the signs that the end is near are things such as this. Okay, World War III, the rolling out of the mark, right? Calamities, plagues coming upon the earth, man. This is how you know that the end is near. And all these things are manifested through these signs. Okay, so now let's go here. Because another thing that's been happening since early last year, we've been reporting on, man. And this is nothing new because they've been systematically attacking the food for years now. All right, but they really ramped up the speed in 2021, 2022 when they started blowing up all these food processing plants. They was shutting down the food supply chain, all these things. Now, well, they've been doing this. They've been killing off the chickens. First, the excuse was, oh, well, there's avian flu, so the birds are dying. But that's not killing the birds fast enough. Okay, uh, um, that's not doing the job fast enough for these devils. Now they have to go in and blow up the plants. They got to destroy the farms, cause fire, you know what I'm saying, do what they have to do because avian flu is not killing off the animals fast enough. And people are still producing eggs. The price of eggs is still high right now, depending on where you go. But you know what I'm saying? It's about to get even worse. So let's look at this.
The Connecticut Department of Agriculture tells me the impact on the egg industry will be minimal to none, only because there are more than 372 egg-laying hens just in the United States alone. We got the chance to fly Sky 61 over that damage. You can see the burned area off in the distance between the coops still intact. Investigators say around 1 o'clock Saturday they were called to Hillendale Farms in the United States alone.
She said there's what, 372 hens left in the U.S.? Oh, there are more.
22 egg-laying hens just in the United States alone.
I'm kind of confused because she said there are more. Hold on.
Only because there are more than 372 egg-laying hens just in the United States alone. We got the chance to fly.
I don't know if she's saying that there's 372 left or well, she said that there's more. I don't know.
Sky 61 over that damage. You can see the burned area off in the distance between the coops still intact. Investigators say around 1 o'clock Saturday they were called to Hillendale Farms in Basra for a large fire. When they arrived, they tell us they found a fire in one of the chicken coops. At least 20 different fire departments responded with engines, tankers, and
how are these fires getting started? Who is causing these fires inside of these egg processing plants? You never had this problem before, man. You never heard on the news that this plant is on fire, this one, and these things are happening back to back. Like you might have one happen early in the day, then another one happen midway through the day. Like you might have multiple plants being blown up in one day, in one day, man. So obviously something is going on. There's a systematic attack on the food supply. All right, and it's not just the eggs, man, because what they want to do, and they're already doing it in Europe, is they want to feed you bugs. That's what Klaus was saying, that they want to feed you bugs. So they want to take away the real meat, the real food, and give you abominations to eat. Okay? This is all part of it. This is all part of that NWO system. Okay?
other needed equipment. Fire crews say the fire was contained to one of the 400 by 50-foot coops containing at least 100,000 chickens. There are almost 20 other coops on the property, and investigators say they were not significantly damaged. Hillendale Farms is one of the largest egg suppliers in the country, with 6 locations spread out across the Northeast. Their website says in total, Hillendale raises about 20 million chickens for their egg production. This location in Basra is the only one here in Connecticut, but if you break it down and do the math, assuming each coop contains the same amount of chickens, then the farm here would have about 2 million chickens on their property. The Connecticut Department of Agriculture tells us the loss of 100,000 chickens is a major one, but not enough to make a hit in the overall egg industry or the prices in a grocery store near you. And there is no word on what caused that fire, but the scene has been handed over to the state. The state fire marshal and investigators will take it from here and give us any update as they can. In Basra, Brooke Griffin, Fox 61 News.
So yeah, it's getting real. Okay, and this is that famine. Going back to Second Ezra 9, this is that famine. These are the things that were prophesied before that are going to come to pass. And when it does, it's going to catch these people off guard because they wasn't prepared for it. They wasn't watching. They're not aware of the things going on within the news, nor do they care to know because it's too much for them to handle. If you look at these things for what they actually are, that's going to either do two things. It's going to force you to pay attention to the things in the world, stop playing games and get right with the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Really buckle down and get serious, or it's going to cause you to be even more cognitively dissident. You know what I'm saying? To be even more reprobate, man. Because the more hell that happens, you're just looking for an excuse or a way to, um, drown out the truth, man. You know? And the beautiful thing about the pandemic was that people were actually forced to sit down. People couldn't go to the club. They couldn't, you know what I'm saying, travel and do a whole lot, man. People had to be inside the house. You see? So that actually caused people to sit down and actually deal with themselves. You know what I'm saying? To actually realize that, life is it's not just all about folly and fun. You know what I'm saying? Things can get real. You know what I'm saying? And this is one of those things that you see, famine, lack of food insecurity is something that will cause people to go berserk. Okay, food insecurity will cause people to kill one another. Okay, wars will start over food, man. You see, gangs will be formed over food. You see, so this egg shortage, man, this is just an omen of worse things to come. Because right now it's just the eggs. Then after the eggs, it's going to be beef. Then it's going to be, you know, pasta and the little sauce and things. Listen, man, there's going to come a time pursuing to Second Ezra's chapter 6 where the full storehouses, your supermarkets, your local mom and pop shop, your farmer's market, man, those places are going to be found empty. Okay, scarce. You're gonna go in there, and if there is food there, they're gonna ration it. They're gonna say, okay, um, one item of this per person. There are gonna be armed guards outside of these stores to protect against theft, violence. All right, this is the world that we're coming into. So this egg shortage, this egg and chicken shortage, because it's not, hey, it's not just the eggs, okay? Because you need eggs to make more chicken. Okay, so if the eggs are on shortage, then you just common sense tells you that pretty soon there's not going to be chickens, man. Okay, the largest global bird flu outbreak in recorded history has combined with increased cost of fuel, feed, and packaging to create a national egg shortage that's about to become worse. Eggs are a staple that for decades have easily and relatively cheaply been purchased from grocery stores and stocked in kitchens, but they've become increasingly hard to come by or way more expensive in recent months. In some stores across the U.S., customers are limited in the amount of egg cartons they can buy. So, well, like I just mentioned, rationing. Okay, they're rationing eggs, man. It says customers are limited in the amount of egg cartons that they can buy. So when you go in the store, they literally telling people, okay, one carton of eggs per person or 2 carton of eggs per person. That's how in demand and short supply that these eggs are. So this is going to spread to everything else. It's just the eggs right now, but this is going to spread to all of your favorite foods. Okay, one of the reasons behind the sudden shortage is the outbreak of bird flu that after starting last year has killed millions of birds in a dozen countries around the world, including poultry and wild birds. In the U.S., more than 58 million birds in 47 states have been affected, according to the Department of Agriculture. But disruptions in the supply chain have also played a part in the current national shortage, as have inflation and the increased cost of gasoline and diesel last year. But while inflation was reined in by the end of last year, the price of eggs peaked in December, when the average cost for a dozen of eggs in cities reached 425 $1.78 more than a year earlier. Okay, and I know when I go to the market now, I'm seeing eggs $9 and up. You know, the lowest I think I see eggs now for is like what, $6.99, but pretty much $9 and up, man. You know, and then at that, there's barely eggs there. Okay, so it's about to get real, man. You know, this is just um, more signs to show you that the end is nigh. Okay, we about to get out of here. The MOTB is about to be rolled out. Yahweh Shai is about to come back. You know, World War III is about to pop off. Okay, all chaos, all hell is about to break loose in America, man. So let's close out on this. 1 Peter 4 and 6. For this cause was the gospel preached also to them that are dead, that they might be judged according to men in the flesh, but live according to Yahweh in the spirit. But the end of all things is at hand. But be ye therefore sober, and watch unto prayer. And above all things have fervent charity among yourselves, for charity shall cover the multitudes of sins. Okay, so the scriptures say, but the end of all things is at hand. Therefore sober and watch. Okay, watch unto prayer. You're seeing the dollar is about to collapse. You're seeing famine on the horizon, which, you know, men have been speaking about, man. Okay, men have been preaching this thing. You see, it's gonna come a point where we're not gonna be preaching no more. It's gonna be on like that. Okay, it's gonna be on like that to where, hey, you gonna hear people talking like, yo, you seen that eggs is $12? You know, you seen at the market, you know, like eggs is $12 a carton. You know what I'm saying? It's not that much meat left in the stores. You know what I'm saying? The shelves is getting scarce. Hey, listen, you're gonna see that. Okay, you're gonna see that very, very soon to come. And the only solution to that is going to be to get down with the beast, to get down with the MOTB. Okay, so we're seeing the end. Okay, we are living in the times that John the Revelator saw. Okay, these are the times that he saw in that vision. Okay, so we're supposed to be sober and watch and pray. Okay, that we be counted worthy to escape these things, man, because we know that when these things come full fledged, man, you know, the Most High is going to off a lot of people. Okay, the Most High is going to allow a lot of people to be deleted. All right, through these plagues and calamities. Okay, because famine is a plague, man. Okay, death by hunger is a plague. Okay, and that's a horrible way to die, but many people are going to go out that way. You know, so just wanted to touch on those two articles real quick, man. Hopefully this lesson was edifying through the Rakakadash. In closing, call Halal Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai Bashem Rakakadash. Till next time, Shalom to the elect.